My son Adam was actually a kid stuck in an adult body. I don't know how long that would have lasted, but at 26 he was 6'3", 220 pounds, and he could never walk through the house. It was running, flopping, jumping.
Adam always had an addiction for speed. When he was 3 years old, he had a bicycle, a two-wheel bicycle that he used to roar up and down in front of the house. He would then come into the house and scraped elbows and knees and be crying. And I told him, you have to slow down. And he goes, but I like to go fast. The type of racing that he did is called sprint kart racing. And the karts themselves are very small. They're bumper to bumper at over 100 miles an hour. And in one little tick one way or the other can put you in trouble. And that's what happened with Adam. And unfortunately, it was at the apex of one turn, and he not only spun out, but was ejected from the cart, which he received very grave injuries at that time. The track personnel did as much as they could. He was transported by ambulance to St. Nicholas Hospital, and then the ThedaCare came and picked him up and brought him over here to ThedaCare.
On the day of Adam's accident, I was at my sister's house, and Adam's mom had called me, said Adam was in an accident, that they were flying him to ThedaCare Medical Center. They were on their way there. So we drove up, the 3 hours to ThedaCare, which was probably the scariest 3 hours of my life because I had no idea what was to come.
When the families first get there, sometimes they have not had a chance to see their loved one before they came into our unit. They're scared, they don't know what's going on, they don't know the injuries, they don't know what the outcome is going to be. My job is to try and make them as comfortable as what I can. Best way to do that is by giving them information.
Any little bit that someone can do for you is huge. And we walked in, and there's a lady at a desk, and she was talking to this gentleman, and she was helping take his information, and then she looked up and she made eye contact with me, and she said, I know who you are.
She knew who we were right away.
Knew exactly who we were.
Knew exactly who we were and what we were there immediately.
She said, I will be with you in just a few minutes. Just could you wait a minute on the side? But just her voice and her compassion in just those few words was enough to acknowledge that we were here and that we were important too.
You don't care just for the injured person. You have a whole family traumatized by the event who look for some sense of order to understand, what just happened in the worst hour of their life. And I think it's important that we have the gift of rapport with people. That's a great quality for a flight nurse, because they look to you for some reasonable hope, some understanding of what just happened, and to truly believe that you were that patient's best advocate. Oftentimes our patients can't communicate, so in that sense, actions have to speak louder than words. They reach for my hand, and in the human touch, I think, shows true compassion and that you are there to care for them.
You have to put your heart and soul into it to be able to take care of your patient and their families. You go in and you do the nursing things, the things that you have to do to keep that patient alive, to keep them clean, to do what you learned in nursing school. But to truly be a good nurse, you have to go beyond that. I like to look at it like I have two patients. I have my patient that's laying in the bed that needs to be cared for, and then my families. I have to take care of them also. Make sure that they're eating, they're sleeping, they're exercising, that they understand what's going on.
The first night when we were here, me and Jackie ended up going over to the hotel. But after that, the guest house became available, and that was definitely a big change in a positive way for us being together as a family. It was more of a homey feeling that we weren't in just a strange place. We actually had somewhere to be together, more of a home atmosphere, because it's a house and we were able to live there together for a week, cook our own meals, get away from the hospital atmosphere. It was a good experience.
This house here was a special, special place to us. There were at any one time 15, 20, 25 people here. We fed a whole bunch of people. We sat here during a rainstorm and worked on a jigsaw puzzle on the porch, and just be able to remove ourselves from the hospital and they would do anything we wanted, and to be able to go back at any time to see Adam in ICU. It was just fantastic that they knew what we needed as people, as a family, and they really were in tune to that.
When Adam was in the hospital, we had tons of family coming up and visiting, and friends as well. All of us just gathered around. We were able to sit out on the back deck and just talk, and for a minute it didn't feel like we were here and Adam was 50 feet away in a coma. It was just really nice that we could all be together. It just took us away from all the pain.
The way the people treated us here, it was like they were friends of our family. Everyone in the hospital, without a doubt, was just focused on my boy. Even one day, one of the girls, the nurses, came in and shaved him. So she said she didn't want him looking scruffy looking for his mother. When we removed the oxygen from Adam, when we took the tube out and he passed away, the nurses cried as hard as we did. And to me, that was very special.
Driving up today, the initial part of the drive isn't bad because we come up to Wisconsin all the time. We're state neighbors. But getting closer, I was saying to Becca, okay, I'm getting that pit in my stomach. It's happening. Getting to the ThedaCare guest house, I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous. It was comforting. We walked up to the side of the house, and seeing the house, there was nothing that came and overwhelmed me. I was expecting to be super sad and emotional, but the house is a happy place, and it just gives you that happy feeling. It's not a place of sadness, it's a place of comfort.
Being here today is a little bit easier in the sense of our family, because we know that this place is still here and it's still receiving a lot of updates and funding to help the next family who could possibly be in a situation similar to ours. And it definitely makes a terrible situation a little bit easier.